I am currently going through a divorce. So the dating part went well. It was just the marriage part that was the nightmare. And like, I've decided that I'm just gonna lean like super hard into being a divorcee. Like, I'm excited about it. You know, I'm gonna join a yoga cult, probably wear lots of floral, maybe start a wine company called like Eat, Pray, Rosé or something. The only thing that bums me out about getting divorced is that now I'm part of that marriage statistic. You know, 50% of marriages end in divorce. I hate that I contributed to that. Not that I even really believe that statistic, right? 50% of marriages end in divorce. That cannot be true, right? Because it doesn't take into account all of the marriages that end in murder or suicide, right? I watch Investigation Discovery. The spouse did it. Mystery solved. It's not like my marriage was all bad. It was just the last 2 years were real rough. In the last 2 years of my marriage, my husband and I had sex twice. We had sex twice in 2 years. Our 5th anniversary and the Banana Republic dressing room at the Grove. He had a coupon. He's a sucker for sales. And it's not like it was me, right? I'm 7-Eleven. I'm always open. But every time I wanted to have sex, my husband would give me like a crazy excuse. He'd be like, oh, I'm too tired, or I don't feel well, or the house isn't clean enough. That's a legit excuse that I got. My husband wouldn't have sex with me because the house wasn't clean enough. So I'm freaking out, right? Thinking this has to be me. Right? It has to be me. Like, what am I doing wrong? Like, he doesn't find me attractive anymore? Like, what can I do? Why? What is wrong with me? You know, it's like, I know what guys want. I watch the news. I would have loved to get Weinsteined. Like, you should have seen what I was wearing. I was literally asking for it. And it never came. And neither did I. And finally, I decide that it's over, that I'm going to leave my husband. And it was the hardest decision I've ever had to make. Well, that and switching to Geico. But it was, like, this was a man I had spent 8+ years with, right? Like, we had been through so much. I still cared about. We had an orchid together, okay? Anyone know anything about orchids? Those are very temperamental and hard to care for. I dedicated a lot of time and effort to keeping that orchid alive. But it was over, and I killed the orchid. But when I tell my husband, when I like build up the courage to tell my husband that it's over, he breaks down into tears in my arms. And I'm like, oh my God, maybe he still loves me. And he says, I'm addicted to porn. And I was like, yes! It wasn't me! Guys, it wasn't me. This was huge, okay? I was so freaking relieved this whole time. I was like, it's gotta be me. Nah, this is great news. That's a real problem. Like, he's gonna need help. Not me, because it wasn't me. He needs the help. But then reality hits, and I spiraled, right? Because finding out my husband was addicted to porn is like discovering your significant other is like a secret juggler. You know, it raises a lot more questions than it answers. You know what I mean? Like, how have you been hiding this from me for so long? Why didn't you just tell me? It's not like I'm opposed to juggling. I go to the circus. What why can't we just like watch juggling videos together while you and I juggle with each other or next to each other if you'd prefer? We could work on our skills. Do you juggle while I'm in the house? How often are you juggling? Is this why you're tired all the time? How did you even learn how to juggle? You're just watching a bunch of tutorials online? Is that why our internet is so freaking slow? Do you just you're just into juggling more now? Or did you find like a sword swallower that you like more than me? Where do you even do the juggling? Do you juggle your balls in the bathroom? Are you even using balls anymore? Or have you escalated to like juggling bowling pins and knives? People juggle cats! Oh my God! Are animals involved? What kind of juggling are we talking about? And then like 2 weeks later, my husband was like, oh yeah, I talked to a therapist that's an expert in juggling addiction. Totally not addicted to juggling. Just have a normal, everyday interest in juggling. So it was me. Thank you. I'm Nee Kirschman.